Today, we come to the headquarters of Maha Bodhi Society of India in Kolkata. How can Buddhism bring peace in today's world of violence? And what is Buddhism? This explanation we heard from the Venerable Medhankara Thero, Bhikkhu-in-Chief, Maha Bodhi Society of India in Kolkata. Let's hear what he said.
More than 2,600 years ago, the Buddha became enlightened on his own, and he was liberated from all defilements, cankers, and suffering. And he achieved freedom, total freedom from this cycle of birth and death. And all there is that makes all beings suffer. So the Buddha means the awakened one. So therefore, even though we said that the Buddha became Buddha, until he became Buddha, he was not the Buddha. So the moment he was awakened under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, he was referred to as the Maha Bodhi Society. The Maha Bodhi Society means the great aspirant of Buddhahood who is working towards becoming the Buddha. So under the Bodhi tree, the Maha Bodhi Society became the Buddha. So since so he was awakened, so he was the Buddha. But since for his awakening, he did not have any teacher or guide or instructor. Since no God, Brahma, human, or any other being taught him how to become Buddha, how to become enlightened. It is purely on his own striving, purely on his own effort that he became Buddha. So all the Dhamma that he found and taught is totally his own experience, totally his own understanding, is totally his own realization, without anybody's help. So therefore he is called, the Buddha is called Samma Sambuddha. The Samma Sambuddha means the great being who got emancipated, who became enlightened, and who understood all the Dhammas, who realized them to himself by his own self, without another contributing to him. Of course, when he was young and going to school, he learned many things from others, but that is not what is counting in Buddhahood. Then once he saw the suffering, and he wanted to find the answers to suffering, and he went out in search of the answers to his suffering. He went to reputed teachers and learnt under them. But those are not the knowledge or experiences that counted to Buddhahood. They were already material, mundane achievements. But this achievement of Samma Sambuddha, the Buddha, is totally supramundane, totally beyond these worlds. So, and thereby his mental faculties became completely pure and perfect. So now I will describe to you how we can understand this within our own selves, which is going to be very helpful to us. Now while I'm talking, you please completely give focus and attention to what I'm saying. And take it to your own mind and evaluate it with your own mind. You reflect within yourself what I'm telling you. You consider what I'm telling with your own self, with your own mind. And also you reflect and consider with other people around you, other situations that we have heard, you have heard, and you have seen. Then you will get some idea of this purity, what is being said. Okay, let us say at this moment we become angry. Now when we become angry, now take this to your own experience. What happens? There is a fire that burns within us. We lose calm. We lose peace. We are unhappy. There is venom in us. There is hurt. There is pain. There is suffering within our own self because of anger. Now, when this anger goes out from us towards others or things and surroundings, what happens? That anger that is burning us, that is consuming us, that is making us suffer, that has made our mind, thoughts, words, body lose the calm, tranquility, happiness, and peace. Consumes the others. The vengeance consumes the others. So by that way, the other person is hurt. The other person loses peace. Other person loses tranquility. Or other things get hurt. Other things are caught up in this fire. So people, animals, they have a conscience. So therefore they feel the hurt. Items, since they don't have a conscience, they do not feel the hurt. So if we restrict this to people and animal for us to understand that, or if we keep it only with people, then we will see that how that pain of our anger, that venom of our anger will hurt the other, will pain the other, will make them suffer. They will draw back. And they are burned with the venom of our anger. They may also retaliate with that anger. So the fire grows. The fire of us and the fire that we have lit in another will burn, and it can end up in great destruction. Yes or no? Yes. So we have all this experience. So you see, anger is a cause of pain for whatever reason. Now, if we put out that anger and replace that with love, kindness, compassion, tolerance, patience, what will happen? That anger that has been consuming ourselves and others will go down. We will be tranquil, we will be in peace, we will be happy. And we will give happiness to others. We will give peace to others. We will give calmness to others. We will give tranquility to others. So therefore, we know by our own experience whether it is little anger or whether it is lot of anger, the result is the same. It is pain, suffering for ourselves and others. Now, our experience teaches us that if when we put out the anger and we extend love to ourselves, compassion to our own selves, patience to our own selves, tolerance to our own selves, that we are in peace, we are calm, we are tranquil, and we are happy. And we extend that to others. The others are in peace, the others are happy, the others are calm, the others are tranquil. So this is what our Buddha achieved, is that he completely destroyed anger with his wisdom, with his knowledge, with his enlightenment, with his emancipation. He totally eliminated anger. So therefore he was completely in peace. He was completely calm. He was completely tranquil. Not an iota of suffering. And he extended love and compassion, wisdom, tolerance, patience towards others. Even those who are angry, even those who are vengeful towards him, even those who wanted to destroy him and kill him, he did not retaliate. He extended love and compassion. And he put out the anger of others because of that. The Buddha put out the anger of others. That fire that was lighting in them, burning them, consuming them, the hatred, the vengeance, the revenge. The Buddha put out those fires that were burning them and consuming them by his enormous love, kindness, compassion, wisdom, tolerance, peace, so on and so forth. So now there is complete serenity. So there is harmony. There is coexistence. There is perfect balance in both sides. So you see, this is why the Buddha was able to bring peace and harmony, because he first put out that dangerous element completely out of the system, and he did not extend that to others, but he put out the fires of that were burning there. So that is one. So now let us see, if it is greed, what happens? It is the same. We have the experience that greed burns us. It brings suffering. It brings pain. It brings unhappiness. And it brings the same to others. So it consumes us, and it consumes us. So when two greeds are there from our side and others, it clashes. And we have the experience that it burns and lights a big fire that consumes all. Now, since Buddha completely extinguished the fire of greed, he was completely in peace, completely calm, completely tranquil, completely wise. And he extended to others the same, the love, the kindness, the compassion, the generosity, the benevolence to those who try to deprive him, to those who were against him, those who were insulting him. He was magnanimous to them. He did not hurt anyone. So, with his complete control, he was able to bring others to peace and happiness. And whatever the fires that were burning, he was able to put them away and bring peace and happiness and calm. So coexistence, harmony, well-balanced unity, all that was there. So this is the achievement that the Buddha had by his experience of understanding the reality of life, the reality of the truth. So there was this once when two sides were fighting for the water and they were trying to kill each other. When the Buddha came there and explained to them that rather than killing each other and destroying the two races, that it is better to share the water, to divide the water. So they saw the value of this advice. And when the Buddha explained to them how it was to be done, that those two people were on two different banks, on the either side of the banks. So the Buddha explained that they can make channels so that the water can come and they can share the days of the water go to each other's areas and all can live happily and peaceful by sharing equally. They don't have to kill each other, only they have to divide and share. So these people understood the value of this advice, and that is exactly what they did, and they lived happily, peacefully, friendly, helping each other. So there was no war. There was no war. The war that was going to happen ended. Now all the wars that have happened in the past and is happening now, whether it's small or large, all the terrorism, all the guerrilla activities or open warfare is because of greed, is because of anger, is because of hate, is because of revenge, is because of non-tolerance, is because of dogmas, is because of theories, is because of ignorance, is because of foolishness, is because of fear, is because of insecurity. So the greed, the craving, the anger, the hate, the revenge, the ego, the pride, all this which burns us and burns others, and all the dogmas and theories and myths, the falsified uh, promises, the illusions, all this leads to terrorism, guerrilla warfare, or small or large wars. So it is complete foolishness and ignorance that happens. So what happens? There's enormous destruction to life, to property, to the whole world. Because an unlimited amount of destruction, tragedy, devastation happens. But if they sit back and think, are we actually now the one who is starting the war or who is participating in the war, we know is also suffering as much as the other. The terrorist is suffering, the guerrilla is suffering, the people who are at war is suffering. Even at home, we have this experience. Even in our home, when there's friction, when there's clash of attitudes, when there's clash of dogmas, when we cannot agree on the wants and what we don't want, the likes and dislikes. So there is a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of burning. So it is the same. It is an enlarged version in terrorism or guerrilla warfare or other warfare. It is just what we saw in our own home, which is and there is a much enlarged version there. So the person, all are suffering, enormously, enormously. So if we think, if we we stand for a little while, we become silent for a little while and think, what if you extend love? What if you are compassionate? What if you are kind? What if you are tolerant? What if you are tolerant? What if you are peaceful? What if we share? What if we are able to accept the other's point of view? And what if we are gently evaluating everything and very wisely? Then the home is in peace. There is no terrorism, there is no guerrillism, there is no war, small or large. When we share, when we give, when we protect, when we extend love and compassion and wisdom. So that can come only from a mind that is pure. Such peace, love and calm and happiness can come only from a mind that is pure. Only from a mind that is enlightened. Only for a mind that is perfectly enlightened. So now just think. We have our body here. This hair, which is on the top of our head, when we take it out, if say that let us say we pull it out completely, we pull it out completely and put it on the side. What value? It is only dirt. We know that if you don't wash it, if you don't shampoo, if you don't shower, if you don't bathe, this body, which is in any case repulsive, which is this body which is in any case full of filth and dirt, nobody will want to touch, even once anybody's foot. So when we take out that hair and put it on a side, what is there to fight over that? Nothing. Then we peel out our skin and then we put it on a side. What is there to fight over it? Or what is there to be clinging to that? Nothing. It is discarded. Then we have the flesh. We take that flesh and put it on a side. So what have we got to fight over it, or to be greedy over it, or to cling over it, or to have war over it? Nothing. That is only disposed rubbish. Then we have our nails and teeth. It is the same. When we throw it aside, it is discarded. Nobody wants it back. Then we have the veins that carries the blood. So when we put it out of our system and put it aside, nobody wants to fight over it. There is no greed. Nobody wants to take it back home. Nobody wants to marry this dirt or to fight over it. No. Nobody wants. It is all discarded property. Nobody wants to touch their foot. The owner even does not want to touch it in their foot and wants to take it back. Then the blood, the snot, the saliva, the vomit, the urine, the feces. Who will want them separately to cling on to or to be born? Nobody. Then anybody wants to make war on the stomach, the intestines, the kidneys, the pancreas, the skeleton? Nobody wants to make war or love, to cling or to crave or to be revengeful on these elements. So that is the truth. So we can understand this truth only by being realistic, only by seeing with the eye of Dharma, leaving out the myth, the dogmas, the theories, the false promises of illusion. And this is only can be taught by an enlightened mind, such as the Buddha. And it is a person with wisdom, spiritual development, and internal investigation and external investigation who will see the truth and reality in this. So when one begins to realize that it is this dirty blood that is going up to feed the body parts, and all what we eat and drink, after it is absorbed into the bloodstreams, it is discarded as urine and feces. And all body parts, when they are taken off from our system and individually looked at and analyzed. That there is nothing valuable in that. There's nothing to take home or to fight or crave or to cling or to make war. There can only be love and compassion and wisdom and tolerance and patience. Because one feels sorrow, pity. That is actually not the true words. The English words are not the real supportive words, but nevertheless, someone can understand. Because this is the source of suffering for oneself and others. So then one begins to feel just as much as I am suffering, I am in pain, I am in sorrow, I am dissatisfied, I am not fulfilled. All the time, not once in a week, but all the time. The others are too. So what is there to kill over? What is there to be angry on? What is there to cling? It is only to renounce. It is only to give up. There is only to be acceptance, tolerance. These frictions are created by foolishness, ignorance, suspicion, doubt, dogmas, theories, false promises, thought to be given by illusionary visions. So one gives up all of it and comes to the reality. So there is only peace and calm, tranquility, love and compassion, harmony, coexistence in such understanding as taught by the Buddha. Anyways, so let's now, what is certain in our life? Is there anything that is certain in our life? Only one thing is certain. That is death. That is death. Is there any guarantee that the fetus that comes to the mother's womb will grow to 100 years or live eternally? Is there any guarantee? There is no guarantee. The fetus can die any moment. It can, even if it grows, there is no guarantee that it will last, it will live. It can live on its own, or it can die on its own, it can die on its own, or it can be aborted, it can be made to die. Then, at birth, is there any guarantee there is life? Will be there? No. One can die at birth. In infancy, one can die. As a child, one can, as a baby, as a toddler, one can die. As a young child, one can die. As an adolescent, one can die. As young, one can die. As in the middle age, one can die. To the maximum, to the optimum. In old age, one can die. One will die. There is no way that one is going to live ever permanently. So then, life is uncertain, death is certain. So then, what is there to fight over, kill over, to be angry, to be hateful, to be revengeful, to crave, to be greedy, to be lustful, to claim possession of something that is not permanent, that can change any moment, that can end any moment. Only a wise person with spiritual development, according to the teachings of the Buddha, can see this. And then there grows love and compassion. Oh, as much as my life is uncertain, the other person's life, the others are uncertain too. My life is prone to sickness. My life is prone to decay. My life is prone to perishing. My life will die. And so is the other. Those other lives are also prone to sickness, prone to decay, prone to change, prone to perishing, and they will die. So, what is there to crave over, to be angry over, to fight over, to be greedy, to be lustful, to be revengeful, to be egoistic, to have pride, so on and so forth? There's nothing. Then that wisdom, that understanding of the reality brings love and compassion, tolerance and peace, and calm and tranquility to oneself, extending to others. So there is harmony in such thinking and such living. There's peace, there's sharing, there's gifting, there's no selfishness, there's no self-centeredness, there's brotherhood. Then when we die, what happens? Today, because we are in certain countries, the body is embalmed by medicine. It can be kept for some days without it showing the reality of death, the perishing of death, or it can be in the freezer for some time. But as in India, within a short period, the body is either cremated or buried. So one really doesn't get a chance to see what will happen to the dead body. So just imagine, just reflect the true nature of this dead body. This body, after a day or two or three, will begin to change color. It will change yellow, it will change blue. It begins to smell, it begins to give a bad odor. It cannot last. The odor will spread far and wide. Maggots will start setting in the body. Pus will begin to drain out of the body, from the eyes, from the ears, from the nostrils, from the mouth, from private parts. And flies and maggots and worms begin to attack this body, begin to come out of this body. Then this body, if it is exposed, will be torn apart by dogs, by crows, by other meat-eating animals. So like that, with time, the flesh, the skin will go, the flesh will go, the sinews are there with the blood, and then the blood will go away and the sinews then will dry up, and after some time the skeleton will be there. And then the skeleton begins to change, break apart. The skull will go somewhere else, the collarbone will go somewhere else, the rib cage will go somewhere else, the hip bone will be somewhere else, like that. The arm, the bones of the arms, the legs, everything will be disarray, spread, that the skeleton will not be in one place. And then ultimately that skeleton will change color. And then it will start breaking, that skeleton that is broken apart and viscera will start to break into small parts, and ultimately it is just dust, nothing but nothing. So what is there? This is what is there to fight over? What is there to crave? What is there to be greedy over? What is there to make war? What is there to be revengeful? As much as it is for me, it is for others. As much as it is for others, it is for me. So how can there be any reason to kill over a dead body? We say we are alive, we are walking, we are sitting. Now I'm giving this, I'm talking to you all, I'm talking the Dhamma, but is there any guarantee that I will live to finish this sentence? No. If the breath I take in, I cannot breathe out, I will die. If the breath I took in, I cannot breathe out, I will die. So what is there of this uncertain life where death is the only certain component? The life that is perishing from moment to moment, that is decaying, and that is impermanent, and full of pain and sorrow and suffering, dissatisfaction, tears, wailing. What is there to crave over, to be lustful, to be greedy, to be angry, to be hurtful, to be revengeful, to be prideful? There's nothing. It is just beauty. There's nothing. So then what happens? That spiritual training one gets from the teaching of the Buddha, from the Buddha's enlightened teachings. The person who is training himself under the Buddha and his teachings will be looking at things objectively, realistically, and wisely. So there will be love and compassion, tolerance and peace and calm, tranquility. Because that person knows that this is all there is to it. There is nothing else. So such people will not bring harm on others, will not harm anyone. He knows that he does not need, that he does not have to get entangled with myth, false promises, illusions. He does not need to get deluded. He does not need to be ignorant. So he looks at things wisely, objectively, realistically. So then this life becomes easier to live. So thereby harmony is created, peace is created, tolerance is created. And goodwill is created. Sharing is created, not selfishness. Generosity is created, benevolence is created, sacrifice is created. Not war or hate or rage or selfishness or greed or lust. Now let's just think of the palatable food we are greedy for. There are many kinds of dishes. There are many varieties of foods from all over the world, cooked to many delicious recipes. But now just see what happens. The moment that mouthful is taken, saliva wraps over that food. Saliva. Now let us say that after that saliva is wrapped on that food, all that delicious. Now where did this repulsiveness come from? Was it in the food? No, from our own body. The acids were from our own body. The saliva was from our own body. The grinding was from our own body. And what came out of our own body we do not want. We cannot bear the odor of that vomit. A few minutes earlier, we were praising and talking of that beautiful, fragrant, delicious meal. But now that meal has been discarded by the body. Now once, after that, when this meal, if it escapes without being vomited, and it goes through the full process, it goes through the intestines, after sucking in all the strength that is there for the body machine purpose, it will be thrown out of this system as feces, as excreta. Do we want it back on the table? Do we tolerate that smell? Do we accept that odor that comes out of the feces and the excreta? Do we like the color? Do we like to take it back? No. We flush it out. We throw it out. So what is that? It was thrown out of our body, from our own dirty body, from our own repulsive body. So it is thrown out by our own body, by our own repulsive body, by our own dirty body. So what is there to fight over? What is there to be angry over? What is there to be revengeful over? What is there to be greedy about? What is there to be lustful about? What is there to crave? And it's nothing. So it is only the person who is not trained in this path of the Buddha's enlightening teachings, who is not able to see this reality and the truth, and to accept the truth and reality for what it is. They are blinded by the illusion. They are blinded by the illusion. They are blinded by myth. They are blinded by dogmas and theories, and they are blinded by false promises, illusionary promises, and they are brainwashed. They get brainwashed by all this. So they cannot see the reality. So they think this is all permanent, that is all I, me, mine, myself, my soul. When it is not so. There is nothing to call I. There is nothing to call me. There is nothing to call mine. There is nothing to call myself. there is not a soul. There is only a series of conditioned behavior, components of cause and effects, which are important. So, there is no reason there to cling on to crave, to fight, to be revengeful, to create war, to die over. Nothing. So when one who is trained with the enlightened teachings of the Buddha, he looks at it with wisdom and love and compassion arises. This is for me, the same for others. That is for them, the same for me. So there will be peace, tolerance, patience, harmony, brotherhood, sharing, giving, sacrificing, not selfishness, not self-centeredness, not greediness, not impatience, not egoistic. So there is peace and harmony. So this is first, all the love and compassion and peace and wisdom must be in oneself. It has to be developed in oneself. And then it can be extended to others. By that way, one's own suffering is extinguished and the sufferings of others are extinguished. All pain and sorrow will be extinguished and others' pain and sorrow are extinguished. When one is able to have this state of mind, always and all the time, one is freed, one is liberated, one is emancipated, one is enlightened, and that is called Nibbana, the great state of victory, where no one will be hurt by you, or anybody can hurt you, because your mind is steadfast and clean and clear, in perfect and real understanding. That is the state of bliss and joy and calm and safety. With the great infinite blessings of love and compassion and wisdom of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, may all beings be in peace and happiness and harmony. May all be well and happy, well and in comfort. May there be always coexistence and harmony. And may one understand this beautiful, pure and true teachings of the Buddha, which is called the Buddha. And may one be able to follow the path and reach the high states of enlightenment. That will be the culmination of the spiritual path. Bless you all. Thank you.
Friends, hope you like our presentation. Please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. In this way, you can get all our upcoming videos notification. Please give like and share our videos. Comments on our videos. Your important valuable comments will encourage us to get better videos ahead of you. Thank you, friends.